Hello guys, welcome. This is a COD 4 gameplay. As far as the whole gameplay is concerned, it's just clips. We played UD, which is number one, I think, and we played Phayze. This is the first couple games are the Phayze games, and then the last couple are the UD games. Um, yeah, I bitch about how old this game is and how people need to move the fuck on all the time, but it really still is kind of fun. I played this just to kind of prove a point that it's not that hard to be good at this game, really. Which is actually kind of segues very nicely into what I want to talk about today, which is what makes a good player in my eyes. And this is gonna be a bit of a rant. I'm gonna fucking warn you right now. It's gonna be a bit of a rant. And if you don't feel like waiting to the end of the commentary while I'll say this, I don't think I'm good. I'm kind of alright at everything, but I'm not like fucking phenomenal at anything. COD 4 is my game. You'll probably notice that from the gameplay. I fuck around and strafe everywhere for the most part and no-scope people whenever I can. Just because it's really not that much of a challenge, but I'm not like amazing at it. I'm just kind of smarter than everyone, I guess. I guess after 5 years, you either have to be the smarter person or, you know, kill yourself. But either way, first of all, I don't think I'm a very good player. I'm just kind of average at everything, and then yeah, as far as like what I think makes a good player, being good at one aspect of Call of Duty really isn't that hard. I've seen competitive snipers that can't get clips. I've seen people that get clips that can't play competitive. I've seen competitive snipers and people that can get clips that can't play GB for shit. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the thing that takes least skill of all those things I just mentioned, probably be getting clips, just because getting like 4 to 5 people in a kill feed in pubs really doesn't show much skill. Heist or Garrett actually tweeted something the other day that was like, as far as the skill it takes to get clips, it really is just dependent on who you're playing against. There are people that can just do it against in like the most fucking unbelievable circumstances, like let's see, Doggio used to snipe in like PCL and like MLG and shit. I know he didn't really have the best record for his teams, but he's fucking amazing, and that's D-Treats. Rockstar was a competitive, like actual competitive sniper, like he sniped in GB and shit. He was good at everything else too, which in my eyes makes him a good player. And that was Call of Duty 4 when there was like nothing but fucking people with Juggernaut and shit. But yeah. And as far as competitive sniping goes, it's not completely devoid of skill. I would say that as far as skill in Call of Duty goes, there's different kinds of skill, if that makes sense. I think competitive's more about individual skill than teamwork, as opposed to like GB or Deserto. You have to work as a team. I suppose you could like get a 4-piece and cap a flag or something like that, but for the most part you can't be everywhere at once in the map. So yeah, and there are people who could probably win a competitive sniping gameplay or game single-handedly, just be like through raw skill alone. I understand that you can like fucking single cap 1v4 everything, but for the most part there are people who can make a serious difference just by themselves in a competitive game. And when I talk about competitive sniping, I don't really count COD 4 anymore. The game's coming up on 5 years old. I still love it to death. It really is the game that made me fall in love with online gaming, but it's old. It's played out. Pretty much anyone that was good as far as competitive sniping goes when it was in its prime has moved on. I really wasn't amazing when in its prime. I knew all the spawns and I would like knew which routes to run and shit like that, but for the most part I wasn't ridiculous like we were talking the other day, like Zebo or Saki Sniper or Schizo, or really anyone from like super godlike abnormal, but I was a smart player and I had fun. I mean, I know I wouldn't be the player I am today if I had never like hopped on COD 4 or if I hadn't gotten COD 4 late '07 from my friend. Let's see. Anyways, the next thing I would say probably takes most skill would be GB. First of all, let me say that having a good GB rank or low GB rank being closer to the first on the ladder doesn't really mean anything. Game battles, as far as like ranking, is kind of based on how much you play. If you have a good team record, I guess that's good, but for the most part, GB doesn't really show skill as far as like what you're ranked. I think America and Melon and Beezy or whatever his name is, Breezy something. He's in Obey. Anyways, they were number 1 on GB for like the longest. Fuck it, that was dirty. They were the number 1 on GB for like the longest fucking time, but they weren't really that like, you know, they weren't like exceptional players. I'm sure I've watched America play like his competitive montages and everything. He really is a good player, but for the most part, what you're ranked on GB is kind of based on really is just based on how much you play. And then the final thing I want to talk about was Deserto. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Deserto is the most like skillful way to play Call of Duty, and this is not involving PC. If you compare like competitive Call of Duty on Xbox to competitive Call of Duty on PC, you really should probably go die. Competitive PC is so much fucking different. Like playing, I consider myself pretty. I'm not like amazing at PC, but for the most part, I can hold my own. Going into like a pro mod lobby on there, like even if it's just public, which is just shit ass dicks in the words of S&Ds, it's so much fucking different than like playing a pub. Like those aren't even the people that are good either. The people that are really good at like pro mod and stuff are, first of all, the European NA pro mod scene's fucking dead. And then they're like just the pub stars, and that's not even the people who are like actually good. Like you watch people like, well, basically everyone from Western Wolves. I'm probably speaking gibberish because most of you probably don't like play PC, but if you ever watch a good PC player as opposed to like a good console player, it's just really no difference. The whole keyboard mouse thing has something to do with it, but they like notice shit that you just wouldn't fucking believe half the time. Like the attention to detail from playing PC, like I played pro mod and I got wall banged through Crash. I got wall banged through like little nooks and crannies that I didn't know existed. And I've had this game for like going on 5 years now, which is just fucking nuts to me. And I like that. I like that as good as you get at something, there's still shit to learn, because once you like peak out, there's really nowhere to go. I mean, and I don't think I'm ever going to peak. I don't have fun playing Xbox very much anymore. Like I think these games are probably the most fun I've had, like actually trying to win on Xbox in forever, but for the most part it's just I had my time. I had my fun on this game. I'm kind of done as far as like the whole like trying to prove to people how good I am at pushing buttons. I like to come on, I like to be competitive, I really like to win with my friends, but for the most part I'd rather just talk to people. I'd like to come on and be like, hey man, what's up, and go. Honestly, we've been playing a lot of GTA lately, which is actually really fucking fun, but yeah. As far as another thing I want to talk about was, it's not hard to be good at one game. There are Modern Warfare 2 players I've seen that literally have not gotten off that game since it came out, and there's even worse, is there's people who've done that for COD 4. Playing one game for 5 years, like I said before, the only reason I'm able to do this, like do well. I'm not a consistent player, but the only reason I was able to do well in these matches is because it's been 5 years, and like I said, everyone that's good has moved on. But yeah, if you sweat Modern Warfare 2 all day, you're eventually gonna get good at. Same with Modern Warfare 3. And yeah, I guess the same thing goes for pubs. I talk a lot about competitive, and that's just because that's kind of where my roots are. I started playing competitive almost 3.5, maybe 4 years ago. As far as sniping, mind you, not like, I don't know. I did kind of start out playing game battles a little, but I sucked at it. Anyways, so yeah, it's really not hard to be good at one game. I've seen very few people that are like very good at each game. One person that kind of comes to mind is Truth from Serene Vendetta or Evo. Jin's actually kind of good at everything as far as COD goes. I can't really think of oh, fucking Kazuma. He's Skyz Carrickson now, I think. He changed his name like 2 days ago. But he's fucking ridiculous at everything. Plays on 10, doesn't miss, fucking beautiful shot. And he's quiet too. He's just a nice, humble, quiet guy. I've barely heard him speak, let alone talk shit, so yeah, I like that. I mean, and part of what I think makes you a good player it's not how you push the buttons, it's what you do. It's what you do after you like 250-0 a team twice. Like if you sit there and talk shit to them, then you're not going to get respected by me personally, just cuz the way I see it, if you're good at something and someone else isn't, you shouldn't be like tormenting them for not pushing buttons as well as you. You should be trying to help them improve their game. And there are some people that like they're just fucking assholes, and I just can't deal with them. Like I've gotten to a really bad habit lately where I mute people just like the second they say something obnoxious to me. But yeah, if you are good at what you do, well, all right, let's put it this way: it's easy to be a good player on Call of Duty. It's harder to be a good person on Call of Duty. And this is really true. One person that comes to mind as far as like being a good player and being a good person would be Adapt. He really is the nicest guy I've ever played with ever. He's just an all-around chill dude. He's actually really good. He's kind of backed off now from Skyz and everything, which is sad because he's just an all-around solid guy. But for the most part, yeah, he really is just one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to on Xbox. And he's chill and he's good, and he has more influence in the community than almost anyone. When he talks, people listen, and he knows what it takes to like. He's not really out to like become famous or have tons of people like know his name. He legitimately started it just for the love of the game, which is something I talk about a lot. I really do enjoy that people start off just doing things for fun. It's true. Yeah. That was kind of a rant. One thing I kind of wanted to announce here. I'm not gonna talk over all of the gameplay, I don't think, because I think there's like, oh fuck, there's still like 3 minutes. One thing I'm going to start soon, and I need people's help. I think I'm gonna ask Phayze, Studsy, if he'll do it. I know if I ask Phayze, I think he will. I want to do competitive sniping tutorials, kinda. Over on Skyz Gaming, we're actually gonna do a tutorial on how to black scope, which is kind of redundant to me. I think most people have figured it out after how long. It's a little different on COD 4, but as far as Modern Warfare 2, I think most people figured it out. But either way, yeah, competitive sniping tutorials, and I will start making like actual like YouTube type videos. I know a bunch of people in Skyz have gotten on me for that lately, just because I haven't really been making mini TODs and everything, and that's honestly just because I haven't had fun playing pubs in forever, and I don't really think it takes as much skill as it should, if that makes sense. Like I just don't see the point to it really anymore. I have like 12 minutes of clips like rendered, not rendered and everything, but like ready to be edited. I just have to get off my lazy ass and actually do it. I was actually gonna whatchamacallit, I was going to edit episode mini Taj thing for Titan soon too. I really need to get on that just because I've had his clips for almost 2 or 3 weeks now. Like, I think I got them once I got back from my grandpa from taking care of him when he hurt his hip, or no, he didn't hurt his hip, when he got his hip replaced. But, yeah, so I'm gonna do that. Hopefully I'll upload that here, and hopefully if I don't, like, fuck it up completely, that'll be on Skyz Gaming as well. But, yeah, competitive sniping tutorials, which is something I kind of want to talk about. I plan on doing them as far as, like, let's see. Like, I think the most commonly played game type and map right now is HQ Invasion. It has been for just a couple years now. So that'll probably be the first episode. I want to do like I kind of want to do like a general spawns thing, but just doing a video on the spawns of Call of Duty is kind of, not only is that ridiculous and probably not going to like be as informative, just because there's so much shit to talk about when you go to that. But, yeah, hopefully, and the reason I was going to ask Phayze and Studsy was because I want to do a sleight of hand and marathon thing, too. Just because I'm alright at Modern Warfare 2, but they're, like, just fucking gods among men. Like, watching them both play. Honestly, I don't fanboy many people, and the people that I do fanboy are actually kind of a part of my team. And once you get to know someone as a person, kind of, you stop to, like, think of them as this almighty deity of COD. But for the most part, they really are just the best players in the community. And they're nice to people. I mean, when Studsy gets trash talked or Phayze gets trash talked, they kind of just shrug it off. Just because if you're as good as someone like, this kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier. If you're as good as if you know you're good and you don't have anything to prove to anyone, then you don't really care what anyone has to say. And oh, this final clip here is what kind of won us the last Sabo match. And we ended up playing a lot of Sabo, but it's fucking sick. And yeah. I'm sending these clips to Loved soon, and hopefully, he said, I think Phayze just sent me a message saying he'll make a highlight reel out of it. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm gonna go render this out, and then I'll probably send him the clips. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a rant. I can't believe I actually fucking talked over almost 15 minutes of gameplay. Anyways, you guys take care. Next video, as far as competitive, putting out a mini Taj before before I do any more competitive videos, just because I don't want to get yelled at anymore for playing comp too much. Yeah, next competitive video will be an HQ invasion tutorial. I'm gonna do like spawns and like just rolls and shit on that map, just because it really, I don't know. I feel like most people that are trying, there's a learning curve as far as Monifer 2, and it's there for me too. So hopefully that'll help. Anyways, guys, I'm done rambling. Thank you for watching. This has been Skyz MooN. Blow me.